time to put yourself to the test. Only there are no grades, just a deeper understanding of your personality and your psychology. Because over the next 3 hours, you're going to map out your Big 5 personality blueprint. Then you're going to uncover your deepest motivators with the Enneagram. You're going to figure out if you have emotional intelligence in the first place. After that, you're going to see if you are truly emotionally intelligent, like actually, or are you just cosplaying someone who is? Then number 5 or 5th test, you're going to decode your attachment style. Do you connect? Do you cling, or do you ghost? Afterward, you will shake hands with your shadow, which is basically your Sims character if you stop defeating them. By the end, you won't be fixed, sorry, but you will know yourself, and you will have a cheat sheet for your next identity crisis. Sick, right? Yeah, I thought so. So, now that you know what's on the menu, let's start serving. First up, first course, the Big 5. Do you want to know more about your personality? Like how it influences your perceptions, your behaviors, and your reactions every single day? There's a personality test for that. It's called the Big 5 personality test, and we are about to go through it together to assess your personality according to the Big 5 model. In this model, the human personality is made up of, you guessed it, 5 major traits: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Yes, the test is also known as OCEAN for short. And it is a very useful guide for understanding your own individuality and for helping you along with personal development. This wood board has your Big 5 personality test on it. It contains a series of statements, and this is how it works. After you hear each statement, I'm going to need you to rank how much you agree or disagree with the statement using a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means you strongly disagree. 2 means you disagree. 3 is neutral. 4 means you agree. And 5 means you strongly agree. Try to respond to each of the statements quickly and instinctively. Your first reaction is usually the most accurate, so don't double back. Just go with the first gut instinct. Okay? And I will circle each of your answers with a pencil. While this is a relaxing experience and you can just listen and answer, if you want to know your personality type at the end, I encourage you to write down your answers and number each round and statement, because you are going to need those later. I will guide you through all of that when you get there, but you're going to need to tally up your scores for the different rounds to know where you fall on the scale of each personality trait. We will move through 5 rounds, and I will let you know when each round starts and ends so you can label it accordingly. Are you ready? Are you excited? It's going to be great. Alright, now starting round 1. Round 1. We are now starting round 1. And there are 10 statements in round 1. Alright, and here is statement number 1. You are the life of the party. As a reminder, you're rating this on a scale between 1 and 5. 1 meaning you strongly disagree. 2 meaning you disagree. 3, neutral. 4 means you agree. And 5 means you strongly agree. Answering each statement honestly based on how you generally feel or behave. So, how would you rank that statement? Got it. Now statement number 2. You don't talk a lot. Remember, 1, you strongly disagree. Up to 5, where you strongly agree. You don't talk a lot. Okay. Statement number 3. You feel comfortable around people. Got it. Statement 4. You keep in the background. Statement 4. Keep in the background. Statement 5. You start conversations. Statement 6. You have little to say. Statement 7. You talk to a lot of different people at parties. Statement 8. You don't like to draw attention to yourself. Statement 9. You don't mind being the center of attention. Statement 10. You are quiet around strangers. And that marks the end of round 1. We are now ending round 1. And entering round 2. Now entering round 2. There are 10 questions in round 2. To make it easier to track, I'll pick up where we left off in numbering. So the first statement in round 2 will be considered statement number 11. Okay? So round 2, statement number 11. And statement number 11 is, you feel little concern for others. Remember to answer quickly and instinctively, with 1 meaning you strongly disagree, 2, you disagree, 3, neutral, 4, you agree, and 5, you strongly agree. So, how would you rank that statement? You feel little concern for others. Okay. Statement 12. You are interested in people. You're interested in people. Statement 13. You insult people. Statement 14. You sympathize with others' feelings. Statement 15. You are not interested in other people's problems. Statement 16. You have a soft heart. Statement 17. You're not really interested in others. Statement 18. You take time for others. Statement 19. You feel others' emotions. Statement 20. You make people feel at ease. And that marks the end of round 2. We are now ending round 2. Round 2 is ending. Starting round 3, we are now entering round 3. Round 3. There are 10 questions in round 3. And again, I will be picking up where we left off. So this will be considered statement 21. Round 3, statement 21. And statement 21 is, you are always prepared. How would you rank that statement about yourself? Answering each statement based on how you generally behave. 1 meaning you strongly disagree. 5 meaning you strongly agree. You are always prepared. Statement 22. You leave your belongings hanging around. You leave your belongings hanging around. Statement 23. You pay attention to detail. Statement 24. You make a mess of things. Statement 25. You get chores done right away. Statement 26. You often forget to put things back in their proper place. Statement 27. You like order. Statement 28. You avoid your responsibilities. Statement 29. You follow a schedule. Statement 30. You are precise in your work. And that is the end of round 3. Now ending round 3. And starting round 4. Now entering round 4. There are 10 questions in round 4. And this will be considered statement 31. Round 4, statement 31. And statement 31 is, you get stressed out easily. How would you rank that statement? Statement 32. You are relaxed most of the time. Statement 33. You worry about things. Statement 34. You rarely feel sad. Statement 35. You are easily disturbed. Statement 36. You get upset easily. Statement 37. You change your mood a lot. Statement 38. You have frequent mood swings. Statement 39. You get irritated easily. Statement 40. You often feel sad. And that is the end of round 4. Now ending round 4. And starting round 5. Now entering round 5. There are 10 questions in round 5, and this will be considered statement 41. Round 5, statement 41. And statement 41 is, you have a rich vocabulary. How would you rank that statement? Statement 42. Statement 42. You have difficulty understanding abstract ideas. Statement 43. You have a vivid imagination. Statement 44. You are not interested in abstract ideas. Statement 45. You have excellent ideas. Statement 46. You do not have a good imagination. Statement 47. You are quick to understand things. Statement 48. You use difficult words. Statement 49. You spend time reflecting on things. Statement 50. You are full of ideas. Nicely done. Nice work. You successfully completed the Big 5 personality test. And to reveal your personality, you're going to need to do a little light math. And I will include the formula at the bottom to make it easier for you. And I will also place it in the description. I looked into why the formula is what it is. I couldn't find any clear answers, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. Okay. So each round represents a different personality trait, and each round has a different formula. Each personality trait will give a score between 0 and 40. So, if your total is above 40 in any area, you need to rework the math. Alright? It cannot be over 40. Alright, do you have your paper or whatever you used to store your numbers handy? Okay, so the first round. We're going to total the first round right now. So, the numbers you had for statements 1 through 10. The first round represented extroversion. And here is the formula for extroversion. The statement numbers are included here in parentheses. Okay? So automatically, you are just going to add 20 off top. You just start with 20. Like I said, I don't make the rules, I just work here. And this is how the test does it. So, entertain me. Take 20. And then add in your number for statement 1. Okay? Then subtract your number for statement 2. Then add your number for statement 3. Subtract statement 4. Add statement 5. here as I explain to you what your extroversion score means. Higher numbers, so closer to 40, indicate that you are outgoing and have a need for social stimulation. You are assertive, talkative, energetic. You find fulfillment in being around other people. Lower scores, closer to 0, indicate a more introverted nature. You are less about crowds, and you tend to keep to yourself or a few friends. You might be a bit of a lone wolf at times. You can appear standoffish and private even, and you likely prefer solo projects. Let's calculate round 2, okay? Now we are calculating round 2. Round 2 represented agreeableness, and here is the formula for agreeableness. Again, the statement numbers are included here in parentheses, so you know what to insert when you're adding and subtracting. Automatically, you are going to start with 14 off the top. You just start with 14. And from 14, you subtract the number you had for statement 11. Then add the number you had for statement 12. Subtract statement 13. Add statement 14. Subtract statement 15. Add statement 16. Subtract statement 17. Add statement 18. Add statement 19. And add statement 20. I'll give you a moment. Your agreeableness score reflects how much you adjust your behavior to please others. A higher score means you are compassionate, kind, cooperative, caring, and easy to get along with. You also tend to be more polite, while a lower score is a bit more blunt and direct. You're less sympathetic. You may even have a tendency to hold grudges, and you don't really care what others think of you, and you don't bother much with comparisons. Let's calculate round 3. Now we are calculating round 3. This round represented conscientiousness, and here's the formula for conscientiousness, okay? Again, the statement numbers are included in parentheses, so you know what to add or subtract where. Automatically, you're going to start with 14 off top again. You just start with 14. And from 14, you add the number you had from statement 21. Then subtract the number you had for statement 22. Add statement 23. Subtract statement 24. Add statement 25. Subtract statement 26. Add statement 27. Subtract statement 28. Add statement 29. And add statement 30. I'll give you a moment. Your conscientiousness score reflects honesty and hard work. If you score higher here, you tend to follow the rules, are organized and responsible, and prefer a neat and orderly home. You're goal-oriented and dependable. If you scored lower, that indicates you prefer setting without structure. Maybe you lean into a little chaos, which might make you appear unreliable to others. You like to set your own pace, and you may be messy and you might cheat others. Let's calculate round 4. Now we are calculating round 4. Round 4. This round represented neuroticism, and here is the formula for neuroticism. Again, the statement numbers are included in parentheses, so you know what to add and subtract. Automatically, you are going to start with 38. You just start with 38. And from 38, you subtract the number you had for statement 31. Then add the number you had for statement 32. Subtract statement 33. Add statement 34. Subtract statement 35. Subtract statement 36. Subtract statement 37. Subtract statement 38. Subtract statement 39. And subtract statement 40. I'll give you a moment. Your neuroticism score reflects your emotional responses. Higher scores indicate high emotional reactions to stress and a tendency to experience negative emotional states like anxiety and depression. You are typically more sensitive and you may perceive situations as threats. You are easily frustrated with yourself and you blame yourself when things go wrong. This makes you much more introspective than most, so you do examine and understand your feelings more than others. A lower neuroticism score suggests confidence. You stay cool and calm under pressure, and it's much easier for you to relax. Now, calculating round 5, calculating round 5. This round represented openness, and here is the formula for openness. Again, the statement numbers are included in parentheses. And automatically, we are going to start with 8. You just start with 8. And from 8, you add the number that you had for statement 41. Then subtract the number you had for statement 42. Add statement 43. Subtract statement 44. Add statement 45. Subtract statement 46. Add statement 47. Add statement 48. Add statement 49. And add statement 50. I'll give you a moment. Your openness score reflects how much you seek new experiences. If you scored higher in openness, you tend to be creative routine. You are more down to earth and in the present moment. How did the formulas go? Did you get your numbers? Please make sure to share them, as I would love to see where you fall in the Big Five and if you agree with its assessment. My highest hope is that the Big Five helps you unlock your potential, and that through this test you can recognize your strengths and see any areas for development. Self-discovery really is an endless journey, and I am so happy to be traveling part of that path with you. Thank you so much for being alive. Do you know your Enneagram personality type? Enneagram, Enneagram. Say it with me. There are 9 personality types to the Enneagram, and each of them come with their own strengths, challenges, and quirks. Knowing your Enneagram can help you understand your motivations, behaviors, and emotional patterns. It's like a roadmap to self-development to discover your Enneagram personality type. We are going to move through a test of 72 statements that relate to 9 basic personality types. And you are going to tell me if the statements you hear are true to who you are, or how your life is most of the time. Please note that this test and its results are only intended as a tool for personal exploration and self-reflection, not as a definitive psychological assessment. For any concerns regarding mental health, please consult a qualified professional. Now, this wood board has your Enneagram personality test on it. There are 9 rounds to this test. Each round contains a series of 8 statements. After you hear each statement, I need you to tell me whether or not that statement is true to you and your experience. While this is a relaxing experience, and you can just listen and answer, if you want to know what your personality type is, I encourage you to write down the number 1 next to every statement that is true to you in each round. You will add all your ones up at the end. Try to respond to each statement quickly and instinctively. Do not overanalyze the questions or search for exceptions. Mark any statement that represents how you are most of the time or for most of your life. Are you ready to begin? Good. I will let you know when each round starts and ends so you can label it. And we are now starting round A. Round A. There are 8 statements in round A. Round A, statement 1. And statement 1 is, you tend to avoid confrontations. As a reminder, you are writing down the number 1 if that statement is true to your experience. Statement 2. It's generally difficult to provoke a reaction out of you. Is that true? Statement 3. You tend to focus too much on others. Statement 4. Your reluctance to engage in drama has caused issues in your relationships. Statement 5. You are typically interested in maintaining your stability and peace of mind. Statement 6. When anxiety starts to get to you, you are usually able to tune it out. Statement 7. You are usually shy about showing your abilities. Statement 8. You have given in too easily and let others push you around. We are now ending round A and entering round B. There are 8 questions in round B. To make it easier to track, I will pick up where we left off. So, this will be considered statement 9. Round B, statement 9. And statement 9 is, you are practical and down to earth. Is that true? Remember, you're writing down the number 1 every time the statement is true to you. Statement 10. It's generally easy to get a reaction out of you. Statement 11. You have come across as being too unsure of yourself. Statement 12. You tend to hesitate and procrastinate. Statement 13. You are generally orderly and cautious. Statement 14. You have been too stubborn and skeptical. Statement 15. You have depended on your friends, and they've known they can depend on you. Statement 16. Having comfort and security has been more important to you than pursuing your personal interests. And that marks the end of round B. We are now ending round B. And starting round C. We are now in round C. There are 8 questions in round C. This will be considered statement 17. Round C, statement 17. And statement 17 is, you are typically diplomatic, charming, and ambitious. Is that true? Statement 18. When presented with a new experience, you typically ask yourself if it would be useful to you. Statement 19. You are more goal-oriented than relationship-oriented. Statement 20. You are usually able to put your feelings aside to get the job done. Statement 21. You often feel the need to perform perfectly. Statement 22. You do not depend on people. You do things on your own. Statement 23. You like to let people know what you can do well. Statement 24. Much of your success has been due to your talent for making a favorable impression. And that marks the end of round C. We are now ending round C. And starting round D, we are now entering round D. There are 8 questions in round D. Again, I am picking up where we left off, so this will be considered statement 25, round D. And statement 25 is, you are typically direct, formal, and idealistic. Is that true to you in your life? Statement 26. You tend to think in terms of the big picture. Statement 27. You have come across as being too sure of yourself. Statement 28. It's been difficult for you to take it easy and be more flexible. Statement 29. You tend to be a serious, reserved person who likes discussing issues. Statement 30. Your habit of telling people what to do has annoyed people. Statement 31. You are generally a dedicated, self-disciplined person. Statement 32. You have been too uncompromising and demanding with others. And that marks the end of round D. We are now ending round D. And starting round E. We are now in round E. There are 8 questions in round E. Again, I'm picking up where we left off. So, this will be considered statement 33. Round E, statement 33. And statement 33 is, you are romantic and imaginative. Is that true to you? Remember to mark number 1 if it is. Statement 34. You keep to yourself and don't socialize a lot. Statement 35. You tend to focus too much on yourself. Statement 36. You have not been able to speak up for yourself very well. Statement 37. You usually need to work through your feelings before you can take action. Statement 38. Your habit of being standoffish has annoyed people. Statement 39. You tend to be moody and self-absorbed. Statement 40. When you have conflicts with others, you tend to withdraw. And that marks the end of round E. We are now ending round E. And starting round F, we are now entering round F. There are 8 questions in round F. Again, I'm picking up where we left off, so this will be considered statement 41. Round F, statement 41. And statement 41 is, you are a welcoming person and enjoy making new friends. Statement 42. You have needed to show affection to people. Statement 43. You are more relationship-oriented than goal-oriented. Statement 44. Your eagerness to have people depend on you has gotten you into trouble with them. Statement 45. You tend to be a supportive, giving person who enjoys spending time with people. Statement 46. You have been too soft-hearted and sentimental. Statement 47. You like to comfort people and calm them down. Statement 48. You have been appreciated for your quiet strength and exceptional generosity. And that marks the end of round F. We are now ending round F. And starting round G, we are now in round G. There are 8 questions in round G. Again, I am picking up where we left off, so this will be considered statement 49. Round G, statement 49. And statement 49 is, you tend to comfort people. Statement 50. You are resourceful and thrive in unpredictable situations. Statement 51. Others have depended on your strength and decisiveness. Statement 52. You tend to be assertive and commanding. Statement 53. You often feel the need to be a pillar of strength. Statement 54. You often worry that if you let your guard down, people will take advantage of you. Statement 55. You like to challenge people and shake them up. Statement 56. You rarely back down in a conflict. And that marks the end of round G. We are now ending round G. And starting round H, we are now in round H. There are 8 questions in round H. Again, I am picking up where we left off. So, this will be considered statement 57. Round H, statement 57. And statement 57 is, you are focused and intent. Is that true to you? Statement 58. You prefer to maintain a certain distance with people. Statement 59. Others have depended on your insight and knowledge. 60. It has been difficult for you to stop considering alternatives and do something definite. Statement 61. You are typically interested in asking tough questions and maintaining your independence. Statement 62. You tend to be detached and preoccupied. Statement 63. Pursuing your personal interests has been more important to you than having comfort and security. Statement 64. Much of your success has been achieved despite your lack of interest in developing interpersonal skills. And that marks the end of round H. We are now ending round H. And starting round I, we are now in round I. There are 8 questions in round I. Again, I am picking up where we left off. So, this will be considered statement 65. Round I, statement 65. And statement 65 is, you are spontaneous and fun-loving. Is that true to you? Statement 66. When presented with a new experience, you usually ask yourself if it would be enjoyable. Statement 67. You've been outspoken. You've said what others wish they had the nerve to say. Statement 68. You are generally an adventurous person who takes risks. Statement 69. You often worry that you're missing out on something better. Statement 70. When troubles get to you, you usually treat yourself to something you enjoy. Statement 71. You are generally an outgoing, social person. Statement 72. You have been appreciated for your unsinkable spirit and great sense of humor. And that marks the end of round I. We are now ending round I. You have successfully completed the test to determine your personality type. To reveal your personality type, you will need to do some light addition. All you have to do is add up the number of ones you had in each round. You can only have a maximum of 8 total in each round. And the closer you scored to 8 in each round indicates your personality type. It is likely that you will have close to 8 in multiple rounds. The top 3 rounds that contain the highest scores suggest different aspects of your personality, with your overall highest score being the most dominant. Now, let's move through the different rounds and what they represent. Round A represents Enneagram personality type 9. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the peacemaker. 9s are characterized by a desire for harmony, stability, and comfort. You seek inner and outer peace and often go to great lengths to avoid conflict. This makes you a skilled mediator who is able to unite people You are easygoing, supportive, and excel at finding common ground. However, you may struggle with procrastination and a tendency to numb your own feelings to maintain peace, which can lead to internal conflict. You often find it challenging to prioritize your own needs, and you may experience resentment as a result. To grow, you can benefit from embracing conflict, expressing your own opinions, and focusing on self-care, which will ultimately help you develop stronger relationships and a deeper sense of self. That was round A, Enneagram personality type 9. Round B represents Enneagram personality type 6. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the loyalist. 6s are characterized by a strong desire for security and stability. You are typically responsible, trustworthy, and hardworking, and value loyalty and commitment in your relationships. You are known for your ability to anticipate problems, which makes you an excellent planner and strategist. However, this also results in overthinking and anxiety. Sometimes it's like you run on stress while complaining about it. While you thrive in environments where you feel valued, you may still struggle with self-doubt, suspicion, and a fear of abandonment. To grow, you can work on cultivating trust in yourself and others, embracing uncertainty, and recognizing your own strengths and capabilities, which will help you have greater confidence in your life. That was round B, Enneagram personality type 6. Round C represents Enneagram personality type 3. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the achiever. 3s are characterized by a strong drive for success and a desire to be seen as valuable and competent. You are goal-oriented, ambitious, highly adaptable, and often excel in competitive environments. You are skilled at presenting yourself well and can be very persuasive, using your charm and charisma to connect with others. You are motivated by a need for validation and recognition, which can lead you to prioritize your image and accomplishments over your authentic feelings. While you are often productive and inspiring, you may struggle with a fear of failure and a tendency to compare yourself to others. To grow, you can benefit from focusing on your intrinsic worth rather than external validation, embracing vulnerability, and allowing yourself to explore your true emotions. This will help foster a deeper sense of fulfillment and authenticity in your life. That was round C, Enneagram personality type 3. Round D represents Enneagram personality type 1. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the reformer. You are characterized by a strong sense of ethics and a desire for improvement and integrity. You are principled, responsible, highly disciplined, and often driven by a deep commitment to doing what you believe is right. You have a clear vision of how things should be and you strive to perfect yourself and your surroundings. While your high standards can lead to significant achievements and positive changes, you may also struggle with impatience and frustration when things don't meet your expectations. You can be very critical of yourself and others, often wrestling with a sense of guilt or inadequacy. To grow, you can benefit from practicing self-compassion, recognizing that imperfection is part of being human, and learning to embrace flexibility in your ideals. This will foster a more balanced and fulfilling approach to life. That was round D, Enneagram Personality Type 1. Round E represents Enneagram Personality Type 4. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the individualist. You are characterized by a deep sense of identity and a longing for authenticity. You are introspective, creative, sensitive, and value your unique perspective and emotional depth. You tend to explore your feelings and express yourself in distinctive ways, while seeking to understand your place in the world. You are drawn to beauty and aesthetics, and may feel a sense of longing or melancholia, often feeling like you're different from others. While your rich inner life can lead to profound creativity and insight, you may also struggle with feelings of inadequacy and envy, believing others possess something you lack. To grow, you can benefit from embracing connection with others, recognizing that your feelings are valid but not all defining, and focusing on the positive aspects of your experiences. This will lead you to a greater sense of belonging and fulfillment. That was round E, Enneagram Personality Type 4. Round F represents Enneagram Personality Type 2. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the helper. You are characterized by a deep desire to be loved and needed by others. You are warm, caring, empathetic, and often prioritize the needs and feelings of those around you. You excel at building connections and providing support, and find fulfillment in being of service to others. However, your strong focus on helping can sometimes lead you to neglect your own needs, and this results in feelings of burnout or resentment. You often seek validation through your acts of kindness and may struggle with boundaries. It's like you fear that your worth depends on being indispensable. To grow, you can benefit from learning to recognize and prioritize your own needs, practicing self-care, and understanding that your value is inherent, not solely based on your ability to help others. This balance can lead to healthier relationships and a deeper sense of self-acceptance. That was round F, Enneagram Personality Type 2. Round G represents Enneagram Personality Type 8. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the challenger. You are characterized by a powerful presence and a desire for control and independence. You are assertive, confident, often direct, and unafraid to take charge of situations and advocate for yourself and others. You value strength and resilience and see yourself as a protector who stands up against injustice. You will challenge authority when necessary. While your intensity and decisiveness can inspire and motivate those around you, you may also come across as confrontational or intimidating. You often struggle with vulnerability, and you may resist showing your softer side, fearing it could be seen as a weakness. To grow, you can benefit from embracing vulnerability, recognizing the strength in openness and collaboration, and learning to trust others. This will lead to deeper connections and a more balanced approach to leadership and relationships. That was round G. Enneagram personality type 8. Round H represents Enneagram personality type 5. If you scored closer to 8 in this round, you are the investigator. You are characterized by a thirst for knowledge and a desire for understanding the world around you. You are typically analytical, curious, introspective, and you like to dive deep into your interests and hobbies. You value independence, and you tend to observe rather than engage, preferring to analyze situations from a distance. You often seek to accumulate knowledge and expertise, which can lead to profound insights and innovative ideas. However, your intense focus on information can sometimes result in social withdrawal and difficulty forming close relationships. You may struggle with feelings of inadequacy and a fear of being overwhelmed by demands from others. To grow, you can benefit from stepping out of your comfort zone, engaging more with the world and the people around you, and learning to balance your need for solitude with meaningful connections. This will ultimately foster a richer, more fulfilling life experience. That was round H, Enneagram personality type 5. Round I represents Enneagram personality type 7. If you scored close to 8 in this round, you are the enthusiast. You are characterized by a vibrant energy and a zest for life. You are adventurous, optimistic, spontaneous, and always seek new experiences and opportunities for excitement. You have a playful spirit and are often the life of the party, using your charm and enthusiasm to draw others in. You value freedom and variety and avoid routine or anything that feels restrictive. While your positivity can be infectious, you may also struggle with commitment and a fear of missing out. This can lead you to jump from one activity to another, never fully engaging. At times, you use distractions to escape discomfort or negative emotions. To grow, you can benefit by embracing stillness, exploring deeper feelings, and learning to appreciate the value of presence and commitment. This will lead to more meaningful and fulfilling life experiences. That was round I, Enneagram personality type 7. And those are the 9 personalities of the Enneagram. What were your major types? I am so curious. Please let me know. There is a wealth of information, so if you want to learn more about each personality type outside of this session, all you have to do is research Enneagram personality type, whatever number you're looking up. If this session was valuable to you, please give it a thumbs up so it can reach more people. I love growing with you, and I'll see you soon. Are you emotionally intelligent? Did you know truly effective leaders are known to be emotionally intelligent? Believe it or not. There are other benefits to being emotionally intelligent too, like self-confidence, stronger relationships, and improved life satisfaction. So, let's see how much intelligence, emotional intelligence that is, you possess. That's you, and that's me. We're going to run through the EI, Emotional Intelligence Test. Right now, emotional intelligence contains 5 subcategories, and you will be tested on each of them. Those subcategories are self-awareness, emotional management, self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. You will learn more about each of these at the end of the test. And please keep in mind, this is not a validated psychometric test. The mood you're in when you take this test is very likely to have an impact on your answers. However, the test does reveal where your weaknesses are, so you can take the necessary steps to strengthen certain areas of your emotional intelligence. We will cover that after the test, too. This wood board has your intelligence test on it, and on here are a series of statements. After you hear each statement, I need you to rank how much you agree or disagree with it using a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means you strongly disagree. 2 means you disagree. 3 is neutral. 4 means you agree. And 5 means you strongly agree. Try to respond to each of the statements quickly and instinctively. Your first reaction is usually the most accurate. And I will circle all of your answers with pencil. While this is a relaxing experience and you can just listen and answer, if you want to know your score at the end, I encourage you to write down your answers and number each round and statement because you will need them later. I will guide you through that when we get there. We will be moving through 5 rounds. I will let you know when each round starts and ends so you can label them. And now starting with round 1. Round 1. There are 10 questions in round 1. Here is statement number 1. You realize immediately when you lose your temper. As a reminder, you're rating this on a scale between 1 and 5. 1 meaning you strongly disagree. 2 meaning you disagree. 3 is neutral. 4 means you agree. And 5, you strongly agree. based on how you generally feel or behave. So, how would you rank that statement? You realize immediately when you lose your temper. Got it. Statement number 2. You know when you're happy. 1 means you strongly disagree. 5, you strongly agree. Okay. Statement number 3. You usually recognize when you're stressed. Number 4. You're aware when you're being emotional. And number 5. When you're anxious, you usually understand the reason why. Number 6. You always know when you're being unreasonable. Number 7. Awareness of your emotions is important to you at all times. Number 8. You can tell if someone has upset or annoyed you. Number 9. You can let anger go quickly so that it no longer affects you. Number 10. You know what makes you happy. And that marks the end of round 1. We are now ending round 1. And entering round 2. There are 10 questions in round 2. To make it easier to track, I will pick up where we left off. So, this will be considered statement number 11. So round 2, statement number 11. And statement number 11 is, you can reframe bad situations quickly. Remember to answer quickly and instinctively, with 1 meaning you strongly disagree. 2, you disagree. 3 is neutral. 4, you agree. And 5, you strongly agree. So, how would you rank that statement? Okay. Statement number 12. You do not wear your heart on your sleeve. Statement number 13. Others can rarely tell what kind of mood you're in. Number 14. You rarely fly off the handle at people. Number 15. Difficult people do not annoy you. Number 16. You can consciously alter your frame of mind or mood. Number 17. You do not let stressful situations or people affect you once you have left work. Number 18. You rarely worry about work or life in general. number 19. You can suppress your emotions when needed. Number 20. Others often do not know how you are feeling about things. And that marks the end of round 2. We are now ending round 2 and starting round 3. We are now in round 3. There are 10 questions in round 3. Again, I'm picking up where we left off. So this will be considered statement number 21. Round 3, statement number 21. And statement number 21 is: you are always able to motivate yourself to do difficult tasks. How would you rank that statement about yourself? Answering each statement based on how you generally behave. 1, meaning you strongly disagree. 5, you strongly agree. Got it. Statement number 22. You are usually able to prioritize important tasks at work and execute them. Statement 23. You always meet deadlines. Number 24. You never waste time. Number 25. You never avoid telling the truth or saying exactly what you think. Number 26. You believe you should do the difficult things first. Number 27. You believe delayed gratification is a virtue. Number 28. You believe in the need to take action to get what you want. Number 29. You can always motivate yourself when you feel low. Number 30. Motivation has been the key to your success. And that is the end of round 3. Now ending round 3. And entering round 4. Now starting round 4. There are 10 questions in round 4, and this will be considered statement number 31, round 4. Statement number 31. You are always able to see things from the other person's viewpoint. Statement number 32. You are excellent at empathizing with someone else's problem. Statement number 33. You can tell if someone is not happy with you. Number 34. You can tell if a team of people is not getting along with each other. Number 35. You can usually understand why people are being difficult Number 36. Other people are not difficult, just different. Number 37. You can understand if you are being unreasonable. Number 38. You can understand why your actions sometimes offend others. Number 39. You can sometimes see from others' point of view. Number 40. Reasons for disagreements are always clear to you. And that is the end of round 4. Now ending round 4. Now entering round 5. There are 10 questions in round 5. This will be considered statement number 41. Round 5, statement 41. You are an excellent listener. Statement number 42. You never interrupt other people's conversations. Statement number 43. You are good at adapting and mixing with a variety of people. Number 44. People are the most interesting thing in life for you. Number 45. You love to meet new people and get to know what makes them tick. Number 46. You need a variety of people to work with in order to find your job interesting. Number 47. You like to ask questions to learn what's important to people. Number 48. You view working with difficult people as a challenge to win them over. Number 49. You are good at reconciling differences with other people. Number 50. You generally build solid relationships with the people you work with. Wonderful. Thank you. You have successfully completed the emotional intelligence test. To reveal your emotional intelligence, you are going to need to do some light addition, some light adding. All you have to do is add the numbers you had per round. You should have 5 total rounds. Each round represents a different subcategory of emotional intelligence. Let's start with the first round. I'll give you a moment to add your first round up. You should be adding 10 numbers together for the first 10 statements. And to help you interpret your score, if you scored between 10 and 17, you need to make this area a priority for personal development. If you scored between 18 and 34 in any category, you need to pay more attention to this area. And if you scored between 35 to 50 in any category, this area is a strength for Do you have your score for the first category? The first round. Good. The first round represented self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own feelings, thoughts, and emotions. You are able to understand how your emotional states affect your behavior, actions, and performance. When you're self-aware, you're able to see how you're received by others. You also have a good grasp on your own capabilities and limits. So, with a score of 35 to 50 here, you are self-aware. Self-awareness is a strong suit for you. If you scored between 18 and 34, you could benefit from paying more attention to developing self-awareness. If you scored between 10 and 17, it is highly advised that you prioritize this area for your own personal development. You can develop self-awareness by identifying each particular emotion you experience. You can start by simply paying attention to your thoughts, but keeping a journal is a great way to monitor and process the emotions you experience throughout the day. Another helpful tool is meditation. Meditation lets you carve out a space to be silent and observe your mind, your thoughts, any emotions that arise. Also, just so you know, the techniques I mention are by no means an exhaustive list for any subcategory. These are just a few of the many ways to help develop emotional intelligence. I am just sharing a few major techniques that are reported by many to have worked for them. Now for the second round. Again, adding up the 10 numbers you had for the second round. The second round represented emotional management. This is the ability to stay focused and clear even when you're overwhelmed by emotions. Essentially, you can regulate your emotional states so that you don't end up making any decisions you later regret. You're also able to take responsibility for your actions, manage conflict, and diffuse difficult situations. So, with a score of 35 to 50 here, you successfully manage your emotions. Emotional management is a strength for you. With a score between 18 and 34, you could benefit from paying more attention to developing emotional regulation. If you scored between 10 and 17, it is highly advised that you prioritize emotional management for your own personal development. You can develop better self-regulation by doing the work to accept your emotions through radical self-acceptance. Instead of focusing on what you can't control, you work on accepting things as they are and letting go of any anger, bitterness, shame, guilt, or regret. You can also use reframing techniques to change your thought patterns and responses. And for the third round now, adding the 10 numbers you had for the third round. The third round represented self-motivation. This is the ability to draw upon your deepest emotions to help you reach your goals. People who are self-motivated have a passion to fulfill their own inner needs and goals, and this goes beyond things like money, fame, and recognition. Self-motivation also helps you take action and persevere despite any obstacles or setbacks. With a score of 35 to 50, you excel at motivating yourself. Self-motivation is a strong suit for you. With a score between 18 and 34, you could benefit from learning how to better motivate yourself. If you scored between 10 and 17, it is highly advised that you prioritize learning how to motivate yourself. A few ways to better motivate yourself are by setting small, measurable goals and celebrating them, no matter how small they may seem. Personal goals are very important to help build intrinsic motivation. That means an inner satisfaction, which is much more rewarding and long-lasting than extrinsic rewards like praise, prizes, or regular rewards. Extrinsic rewards should be used sparingly. If you are having trouble motivating at first, see if one of your friends can become an accountability partner. Someone who checks in on your progress towards your goals and holds you accountable. Now for the fourth round. Adding the 10 numbers you had for the fourth round. The fourth round represented empathy. Empathy is the ability to sense, recognize, and respond appropriately to other people's feelings and points of view. With a score of 35 to 50, you are empathetic. This is a strength for you. With a score between 18 and 34, you could benefit from learning how to become a bit more empathetic. If you scored between 10 and 17, it is highly advised that you prioritize building empathy. You can build empathy by actively listening to others and picturing yourself in their shoes, or asking them questions to better understand their feelings, and being willing to share your own feelings with them. In the fifth round, adding up the 10 numbers you had for the fifth round. The fifth round represented social skills. Social skills give you the ability to influence and inspire emotion in other people. This provides the foundation for successful teamwork and leadership, and also allows you to develop stronger understandings of others and yourself. If you scored between 35 and 50 here, you've got social skills. It's a strength of yours. With a score between 18 and 34, you could benefit from developing better social skills. If you scored between 10 and 17, it is highly advised that you improve your social skills. You can improve your social skills by showing interest in others and asking them open-ended questions, using icebreakers to start conversations, maintaining eye contact while having a conversation, and continue to practice speaking with different kinds of people. We all have strengths and weaknesses when it comes to emotional intelligence. By using different techniques to improve our weaker aspects, we are guaranteed to reap the rewards where effective communication, self-knowledge, and self-control are concerned. I mean, personal growth is what we're here to do, right? We signed up for this. It's what we came here for. Even if it seems extremely challenging at times. If you're open to it, I hope you'll share your scores. And I am always sending you a lot of love on your journey. If someone handed you their heart, would you hold it, drop it, or ghost? Do you actually open up? Or do you just trauma dump once a year and call it a connection? Be honest. When was the last time you felt something and didn't shove it down with a snack, a scroll, or a sarcastic joke? We're gonna cut right to the chase here. Are you emotionally available? Or are you incredibly skilled at pretending that you don't care? Emotional availability. It might sound like a therapy buzzword that your ex threw at you during a breakup, but it is actually about showing up for your own feelings, first and foremost, and for the people that you claim to care about. It's not just about letting yourself cry during Pixar movies. It's about letting other people see your actual feelings in real life. In other words, can you feel your feelings? Can you name them, share them, and stay connected when shit gets real? If you've ever shut down mid-heart to heart, if you've ever ghosted someone who got a little too close, or you hit him with an "I'm fine" when you were absolutely not fine, you might be a little emotionally unavailable. And hey, there's no shame there, okay? Emotional armor. It's just an old survival skill dressed in designer avoidance. But I just want you to know, as someone who really cares about you, that armor that you once wore, it's very pretty, it's nice, it's shiny, it's industrial. It might be responsible for blocking you from any future connections. Because here's the truth. People who struggle with emotional availability, they often dodge vulnerability like it's a scam call. They're quick to shut down, they change the subject, or they build a fortress out of jokes and deflection. But awareness, as always, is the first step toward dropping the act and actually showing up for yourself and for the people who are trying to love you. So, how do you really rate? Let's find out with this emotional availability test. On this wood board, that's you and that's me. We'll go through 5 rounds that dig into the core of how you feel, express, and show up or don't. After you hear each statement, you're going to rate how much it sounds like you on a scale between 1 and 5. 1 means you strongly disagree. 2, you disagree. 3 is neutral. 4, you agree. And 5, you strongly agree. Trust your gut. There are no right or wrong answers, just honest ones. Your answers will reveal which parts of you are wide open and which might still be behind velvet ropes with a do not disturb sign. And just so we're clear, this is not a formal psychological test. It's a fun check-in, and depending on your mood, your answers might even shift. Totally normal. Humans are very moody, but you're still doing great. Well, this is a relaxing experience, and you can just listen and answer. If you want to know your score at the end, I encourage you to write down your answers and number each round and statement, because you will need them later. I will guide you through that when we get there. So, let's is neutral. 4 means you agree, and 5, you strongly agree. Answering each statement honestly, based on how you generally feel or behave. So how would you rank that statement? You often sense when something is off emotionally, but you can't figure out what it is. How would you rate that? Thank you. Statement number 2. You struggle to name your own emotions with words like angry, hurt, or lonely. Again, 1, you strongly disagree. 5, you strongly agree. Statement 3. You usually suppress your emotions until they boil over unexpectedly. 1, strongly disagree. 5, strongly agree. Number 4. When people ask how you're doing, you say, "I'm fine," by default, even when you're not. Number 5. You can go for days or weeks feeling numb or indifferent without noticing it. Number 6. You avoid thinking about your feelings because it feels messy and uncomfortable. Number 7. People close to you sometimes say you seem distant, closed off, or hard to read. Number 8. Even when something important happens, you take a long time to feel happy or sad about it. Number 9. You rely on others to guess how you feel instead of checking in with yourself. Number 10. You find it easier to talk about facts or events than to talk about how those events made you feel. And that marks the end of round 1. We are now ending round 1. And entering round 2. There are 10 questions in round 2. To make it easier to track, I will pick up where we left off, so this will be considered statement 11. So round 2, statement number 11. And statement number 11 is, you find it hard to say things like, "I'm sad," or "I'm proud of myself," without cringing. Remember to answer quickly and instinctively, with 1 meaning you strongly disagree, 2, you disagree, 3, neutral, 4, you agree, and 5, you strongly agree. So how would you rank that statement? You find it hard to say things like, "I'm sad," or "I'm proud of myself," without cringing. Okay. Statement number 12. When something bothers you, you tend to stay quiet rather than speak up. Statement number 13. You rarely ask for emotional support, even when you really need it. Number 14. You often laugh it off or make a joke instead of admitting when you're actually upset. Number 15. Saying, "I'm sorry," or admitting you were wrong feels vulnerable and difficult. Number 16. You keep quiet when someone hurts your feelings, rather than risk conflict or discomfort. Number 17. You struggle to express affection or appreciation, even toward people you genuinely care about. Number 18. You hold back your feelings because you're afraid of upsetting or burdening others. Number 19. Deep emotional conversations make you uncomfortable, even when the timing feels right. Number 20. You'd rather do something nice for someone than say something heartfelt. And that marks the end of round 2. We are now ending round 2 and starting round 3. We are now in round 3. There are 10 questions in round 3, and I am picking up where we left off. So this will be considered statement number 21. Round 3, statement number 21. And statement number 21 is, when someone shares something personal, you find it hard to stay fully present or engaged. How would you rank that statement about yourself? Answering each statement based on how you generally behave. 1 meaning you strongly disagree. 5 you strongly agree. Statement number 22. You rarely pick up on subtle emotional cues, like tone of voice, body language, or energy shifts. Statement number 23. You ask, "How are you?" out of habit, not because you actually want a real answer. Number 24. You struggle to offer comfort or support when someone is visibly upset. Number 25. You tend to avoid conversations that get emotionally heavy or vulnerable. Number 26. You often zone out, scroll, or mentally leave the room during emotional talks. Number 27. You rarely remember details about people's lives unless they remind you directly. Number 28. When someone's upset, your instinct is to tell them to move on or toughen up. Number 29. You don't feel much guilt when you miss someone's emotional needs. It's not your job to manage them. Number 30. If you think you may have hurt someone's feelings, you usually wait for them to bring it up instead of checking in. And that marks the end of round 3. We are now ending round 3 and entering round 4. We are now starting round 4. There are 10 questions in round 4, and this will be considered statement number 31. Round 4, statement 31. And statement 31 is, you avoid talking about fears or past wounds, even with people you trust. Statement number 32. You rarely share your personal goals or dreams because it feels too vulnerable. Statement number 33. When someone tries to have a deep or serious conversation Number 34. You hold back affection unless you're 100% certain it's safe or you won't be rejected. Number 35. You avoid relationship labels or emotional commitments to protect yourself. Number 36. You keep significant parts of your life private, even from people you're close to. Number 37. You prioritize staying emotionally self-sufficient over risking intimacy or closeness. Number 38. It's hard for you to be emotionally transparent, even with people who have earned your trust. Number 39. You struggle to fully believe someone genuinely cares about you, even if they show it. Number 40. You find it uncomfortable to let others see the real, unfiltered version of you. And that is the end of round 4. We are now ending round 4 and entering round 5. There are 10 questions in round 5. This will be considered statement 41. Round 5, statement 41. And statement 41 is, when you're stressed or upset, you tend to ignore it rather than use any coping tools. Statement number 42. When you feel anxious or angry, calming down feels nearly impossible in the moment. Statement number 43. You isolate or emotionally shut down when you're overwhelmed. Number 44. You often skip the things that recharge you, like sleep, movement, hobbies, because you're too busy. Number 45. When you feel big emotions, you sometimes react impulsively, like yelling, binging, spending money. Number 46. You find it hard to ask for help, even when you really need it. Number 47. You use quick fixes like junk food, scrolling, substances, overworking to avoid feeling stressed. Number 48. You say yes to things, even when you're already running on fumes. Number 49. You struggle to maintain routines that keep you balanced, like sleeping, eating food, or having downtime. Number 50. When you get frustrated or snappy, you're hit with guilt or shame and try to immediately fix it. And that marks the end of our emotional availability test. Thank you so much for being open and honest with yourself. In order to calculate your score, you need to add up the numbers you had per round. Remember, there were 5 total rounds, and each of those rounds represented a different subcategory of emotional availability. So let's start with the first round. I'll give you a moment to add your first round up. You should be adding 10 numbers together. first 10 statements. And to help interpret your score, if you scored between 10 and 17, then this area is a strength for you. If you scored between 18 and 34 in any category, you need to pay more attention to that area. And if you scored between 35 and 50 in any category, you need to make that area a priority for your personal development. Do you have your score for your first round? Great. The first round represented emotional self-awareness. The statements measured how in tune you are with your own feelings and how well you can read your own emotional weather forecast. Are you emotionally fluent, or are your feelings stuck on do not disturb? And let's be real, so many of us were never taught how to feel. We learned how to cope, perform, distract, grind, avoid. Feeling was extra. It's messy, weak, too much. So if you scored between 10 to 17 here, then you are actually emotionally online. You probably journal or check in with yourself, and you can identify and name and label what you feel. That's very rare and powerful. Congratulations. If you scored between 18 and 34, you're semi-available to yourself. Sometimes you tune in, sometimes you float away on autopilot. There's room to get a little more curious about what's really going on under the hood. If you scored between 35 and 50, you might be blacking out your feelings. You've learned to keep it moving, suppress the mess, and stay fine at all costs. But being numb is not the same as being okay. And avoiding your feelings doesn't mean that they disappear. They're just running the show from backstage, which means you're actually not really in control. So, what now? You don't have to become a poet overnight. You just need to pause long enough to ask, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What might be under this? What's the root of it? You don't need to decode your entire childhood in one sitting. You just have to keep track of your energy. That's it. No overanalysis, no shame spiral. Just gentle noticing. That's the muscle that you're building. Start talking to yourself like you're someone you actually care about. Start naming feelings like you're teaching your nervous system a new language, because you are. You could try things like, I'm not irritated, I'm just disappointed. Or, this isn't laziness, it's just burnout in disguise. Or even, I don't know this, but I feel it. And the truth that no one told you while you were growing up is that being emotionally self-aware does not make you soft. It makes you strong. It means that you see yourself and you don't go running. You don't numb out. You face what's real. And if this is all new for you, that is amazing, because you just cracked the door open. And trust me, once you step through, it's so much better on the other side. I promise. I've been there. I'm currently there some days. But once you enter, it's great, so keep going. You're not too sensitive. Your feelings are completely valid, no matter what they are. They're just trying to speak to you. You're learning how to hear them, so just keep going. Now, for the second round. Adding up the 10 numbers you had for the second round. The second round represented emotional expression. Whether or not you speak your emotions out loud to actual people in real time, instead of just hinting at them or memeing about them or expecting people to just read your mind. This is about letting the inside out. Whether that's asking for help, opening up when you're sad, or telling someone You are expressive, emotionally articulate, and not afraid to use your voice. You ask for what you need. You share what's real, and it shows. You probably make people feel seen and safe just by being yourself. If you scored between 18 and 34, you have the tools to express yourself, but you may downplay, sugarcoat, or stay quiet when it counts. If you scored between 35 and 50, you've learned to keep it all inside. Whether that stems from childhood, traumatic relationships, or a general sense of self-defense, your silence began as a form of protection. And now it might be responsible for keeping you lonely, or resentful, or emotionally constipated. So, let's gently shift that, okay? This is how you can start saying how you feel without self-imploding. Try one real sentence a day. That's it. I'm tired. That annoyed me. I missed you. Start with low-stakes truths and then build up from there. Also, use I statements to claim your experience instead of blaming someone else. It's not, you made me feel overwhelmed, or you did this, you did that. It's, I felt overwhelmed when, or I felt taken advantage of, because that's the real magic. And if your throat closes up when you go to do that, write it all out first, or leave yourself voice memos. Just let the feelings get out somewhere before they go sideways. And most importantly, keep reminding yourself that it's not selfish to be emotionally honest. That's connection. It's leadership. It's intimacy. You don't have to spill your guts to everyone. No, don't do that. But you do deserve to be understood. And that starts with opening up, even just a little bit. Adding up the 10 numbers you had for the third round now. The third round is about empathy and connection. This round reveals whether you tune in to other people's feelings and needs, or mentally hit the skip button the second emotions enter the chat. Do you pick up on the energetic shift when someone's feeling off? Do you care enough to ask? Or are you out here narrating your own movie while someone else is off spiraling in the background? If you scored between 10 and 17, you're emotionally intuitive and you show up. People probably come to you because you listen and understand them. You don't just respond. You read the room like a book, and you make others feel safe just by being present. That is a gift. If you scored between 18 and 34, pay attention. You've got the capacity to care, it's there. But maybe you get distracted, overwhelmed, or you forget to check in. Empathy isn't missing. It just needs to be more intentional. If you scored between 35 and 50, let's be honest, you might be more in your own world than you realize. Emotions might make you squirm, or you just never learned how to connect beyond the surface. But heads up, not tuning into other people's feelings is not low drama. It's low relational awareness. And over time, that's going to cost you real connection. Because when you don't notice or respond to other people's emotions, it creates distance. And that distance is not always loud and dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle and quiet and slow. But it adds up because people start feeling unseen even when you're physically present. Your partner might just stop sharing. Your friends might stop reaching out. And you might start wondering why no one ever really gets you, without realizing that you're not really getting them either. Because empathy is the bridge. And without empathy, real intimacy doesn't happen. People want to be felt. just tolerate it. They want to know that you care, not that you're around. So if you are feeling disconnected from others, or if people told you they don't feel heard, this might be the missing link. How can you build your empathy muscle without becoming a therapist? Start with presence. When someone talks, put your phone down. Nod. Make eye contact. Listen like you mean it. Then say something reflective like, "That sounds really frustrating. Wow, I can imagine that hurt." No advice, no fixing, just witnessing them. And asking more open questions like, "How did that feel? What do you need right now?" Those open the door without pressure. You can also try emotional mirroring. Imagine how you would feel in their shoes. Not to hijack the convo, but to actually tap in. And real talk. The more you let yourself feel your own stuff, the easier it gets to feel others. So if this sounds hard, that's okay. You just have to start with yourself. And then you offer what you're learning outward. Empathy is about depth, awareness, and it's something that really matters most between you and the people you care about. Totaling the fourth round now. The fourth round represented intimacy and vulnerability, or how comfortable you are being close and real with others. Not performative, not filtered, real. Can people actually access your inner world, or do you give off just enough to look open while keeping the door locked from the inside? If you scored between 10 and 17 here, you're comfortable being seen. Flaws, feelings, awkward pauses, and all. You let people in, not because it's easy, but because you know that connection is worth the risk. That is intimacy. Keep choosing it. If you scored between 18 and 34, pay attention because you dip in and out. Sometimes you share, sometimes you retreat. It's not that you can't be vulnerable, it's just complicated. There's trust stuff, timing stuff, control stuff. Totally human, but there's room to stretch. If you scored between 35 and 50, you've got that emotional vault on lockdown. You value independence, self-protection, and keeping your business to yourself. And honestly, that probably served you once. But now, it might be cutting you off from the kind of closeness that you quietly crave. Because you can't receive real love if you're not showing up as the real you. People cannot connect to a mask. They can admire it, they can project onto it, they can even be charmed by it, but you've got to let people in if you want to feel safe and understood. How do you do that without emotionally face-planting? Start small. Vulnerability doesn't mean trauma dumping or turning your heart inside out on a first date. It means saying, "I had a rough day," instead of, "It's whatever," or "I actually care about this," instead of playing it cool. You can test out low-stakes honesty with someone that you consider safe. Start by telling them, "This is hard for me to say," or "I trust you with." Even just admitting that you're nervous to share, that's vulnerability in action. And notice who earns this access to you, because being vulnerable doesn't mean being open with everyone. It's about being open with the right people. Boundaries and intimacy are best friends. And most of all, remind yourself that you're safe now. The parts of you that needed that armor, they did their job. You don't have to wear that weight forever. The moment that you stop hiding, people stop loving the version of you that you think they want, and they start loving who you actually are. And now for the 5th round, totaling the 5th round up, which represented emotional regulation and self-care. Do you hold yourself down when life gets real? Or do you spiral into isolation, snacks, and substances? If you scored between 10 and 17 here, you are equipped with emotional tools, and you use them. You feel things early, respond consciously, and probably even cancel plans when your body says no. You regulate instead of react. You care for yourself like it's a priority, not an afterthought. If you scored between 18 and 34, you have good moments and messy ones. Sometimes you self-soothe, sometimes you self-destruct. You're not a disaster, but you do get derailed when stress hits. You're right on the edge of mastery here. Small shifts will go a long way. If you scored between 35 and 50, you tend to let your emotions run the show. You might react fast, numb out, push through, or crash hard. And then the guilt shows up, and it asks, why didn't you just handle that better? Does this sound familiar? It doesn't make you broken. It means you're unpracticed, and that can change. When you don't regulate, your body starts doing the work that your brain refuses to. Cue the burnout, the blow-ups, the breakdowns. You might lash out, shut down, sabotage your goals, or overcommit until you resent everyone, including yourself. Unregulated emotions don't just pass, they pile up. And when you don't know how to soothe or reset, everything starts to feel like too much, which makes life so much harder than it needs to be. Here's how you can start showing up for yourself like you matter. Don't skip the boring stuff. Sleep, hydration, food, exercise. It's foundational. It literally rewires your mood. Then, when you feel the urge to snap or spiral or sabotage, you can mindfully pause and do something neutral. Sit with it for 90 seconds. Stretch. Let the heat pass before you act. Let yourself set micro boundaries. Say, I need 5 minutes, or I can't talk about this right now. Say no before your system shuts down. And if you can't do it alone, that is not weakness. That is wisdom. Therapy, support groups, even emotionally safe friendships can give you tools you didn't know you needed. Emotional regulation isn't about being calm all the time. It's about being in communion with your emotions. Responding, not reacting. It's a daily practice. It's a choice to treat yourself like you're responsible for being cared for, and you are. You made it. That wasn't nothing. You just got brutally honest, and you looked at your emotional patterns on purpose. That deserves to be acknowledged and celebrated, not just by me, but by you. We. Because being emotionally available, it's not about being perfect. It's not about crying on cue or flawless communication. It's about being present for yourself and showing up for the people who actually matter. Connection over control, curiosity over shame, truth over performance. Whatever just came up for you, thank it. That was your emotional system speaking directly to you. That's good. That means you're listening now. And the more you keep listening, the less chaos and the more clarity there will be. Your next chapter starts with telling the truth, especially to yourself. You're not too late. You're just arriving. So go gently, go honestly, and above all, keep going. Do you know what your attachment style is? Have you heard of that before? in attachment style is the pattern behind how you connect with the people closest to you, like your partners, your parents, and your friends. Think of it like a blueprint that shapes how comfortable you are with intimacy, independence, and expressing your emotions to discover your attachment style. We, that's you, and that's me, are going to run through a test. And this test has a series of statements that relate to 3 major attachment patterns. And you are going to tell me if the statements you hear are true to your experience. You will learn more about each attachment style at the end of the test. Please note, there are several attachment styles that are outside of the 3 I am testing you for today, and I will cover those at a later date. Understanding your attachment style helps you foster healthier connections and handle relationship challenges. This is another excellent tool for personal growth. But please note that this questionnaire is only intended to inform you. It is not a substitute for professional psychological advice, diagnosis, or treatment. My goal is to help raise self-awareness and encourage personal reflection on attachment styles. Now, this wood board has your attachment style statements on it. There are 3 rounds to this test. Each round contains a series of statements. After you hear each statement, I need you to tell me whether or not that statement is true to you and your experience. While this is a relaxing experience, and you can just listen and answer, if you do want to know what your attachment style is, I encourage you to write down the number 1 next to every statement that is true to you in each round. You will add all your ones up at the end. Try to respond to each of the statements quickly and instinctively. Your first reaction is usually the most accurate. Are you ready to begin? Good. I will let you know when each round starts and ends so you can label it accordingly. And we are now starting round A. Round A. There are 14 statements in round A. Round A, statement 1. You often worry your partner will stop loving you. Is this statement true to you? As a reminder, you are writing down the number 1 if this statement is true to your experience. Statement 2. You feel that once someone gets to know the real you, they won't like who you are. Is that true? If it is, write down the number 1, okay? Statement 3. When you're not involved in a relationship, you feel somewhat anxious and incomplete. Statement 4. When your partner is away, you're afraid they might become interested in someone else. Statement 5. When you show your partner how you feel, you're afraid they won't feel the same way about you. Statement 6. You think about your relationships a lot. Statement 7. You tend to get attached very sensitive to your partner's moods. Statement 9. You worry that if your partner leaves you, you may never find someone else. Statement 10. During a conflict, you tend to impulsively do or say things you later regret, rather than be reasonable about things. Statement 11. You worry that you're not enough. Statement 12. If you notice that someone you're interested in is checking out other people, it makes you feel depressed. Statement 13. If someone you've been dating begins to act cold and distant, you worry that you've done something wrong. Statement 14. If your partner was to break up with you, you'd try your best to show them what they're missing. A little jealousy can't hurt anything, right? We are now ending round A and entering round B. There are 14 questions in round B. To make it easier to track, I will pick up where we left off. So this will be considered statement number 15. So round B, statement 15. And statement 15 is, you find it easy to be affectionate with your partner. Is that true? Remember, you're writing a number 1 every time the statement is true. Okay. Statement 16. You feel comfortable depending on your romantic partners. Statement 17. You are generally satisfied with your romantic relationships. Statement 18. You don't feel the need to act out much in your romantic relationships. Statement 19. You have little difficulty expressing your needs and wants to your partner. Statement 20. You believe most people are essentially honest and dependable. Statement 21. You're comfortable sharing your personal thoughts and feelings with your partner. Statement 22. An argument with your partner doesn't usually cause you to question your entire relationship. Statement 23. Sometimes people see you as boring because you create very little drama in relationships. Statement 24. When you disagree with someone, you feel comfortable expressing your opinions. Statement 25. If you notice that someone you're interested in is checking out other people, you feel a pang of jealousy, but it's fleeting. Statement 26. If someone you've been dating begins to act cold and distant, you might wonder what's happened, but you'll know it's probably not about you. Statement 27. If someone you've been dating for several months tells you they want to stop seeing you, you'd feel hurt at first, but you'd get over it. Statement 28. You won't have much of a problem staying in touch with your ex and keeping it strictly platonic. After all, you have a lot in common. And that marks the end of round B. We are now ending round B. And starting round C. We are now starting round C. There are 14 questions in round C, and again, I'm picking up where we left off. So this will be considered statement 29. Round C, statement 29. And statement 29 is: you find that you bounce back quickly after a breakup. It's weird how you can just put someone out of your mind. Is that true? Remember, put a 1 if it is. Statement 30. You find it difficult to emotionally support your partner when they are feeling down. Statement 31. Your independence is more important to you than your relationships. Statement 32. You prefer not to share your innermost feelings with your partner. Statement 33. You find it difficult to depend on romantic partners. Statement 34. You sometimes feel angry or annoyed with your partner without knowing why. Statement 35. You prefer casual sex with uncommitted partners to intimate sex with one person. Statement 36. It makes you nervous when your partner gets too close. Statement 37. Your partners want you to be more intimate than you feel comfortable being. Statement 38. You miss your partner when you're apart, but when you're together, you feel the need to escape. Statement 39. You hate feeling that other people depend on you. Statement 40. If you notice that someone you're interested in is checking other people out, you feel relieved. It means they're not looking to make things exclusive. Statement 41. If someone you've been dating begins to act cold and distant, you'll probably be indifferent. You might even feel relieved. Statement 42. Sometimes when you get what you want in a relationship, you're not sure what you want anymore. And that marks the end of round C and the end of our assessment. You have successfully completed the test to determine your attachment style. To reveal your attachment style, you will need to do some light addition. All you have to do is add up the number of ones you had for each round. And the higher you scored toward 14 in each round, the more likely you are to display characteristics of that particular attachment style. Let's start with the first round. Round A. You should be adding up the number of ones for the statements that were true to you in round A. Round A represented an anxious attachment style. If you scored closer to 14 in this area, you yearn for and crave connection and intimacy. You may get involved in relationships quickly and want commitment as soon as possible. You desire to get as close as you can to your romantic partners, and you may struggle with the fear that your partner doesn't want to be as close as you do. You may often doubt their love for you. The start of any relationship consumes you. You spend most of your time thinking about your relationship, and this might feel like an intense emotional roller coaster that rotates between intense euphoria and fear over how the relationship will evolve. It is likely that you are extremely sensitive to your partner's moods and actions, to the point of wondering if they're upset over things you have done. You take things personally, and you want to do whatever you can to fix anything that isn't going right for your partner. You likely give more in your relationship than your partner does. If you feel like your partner is pulling away or not paying enough attention to you, it's easy for you to get upset. As a result, a lot of negative emotions bubble up, causing you to act out and say or do things you later regret. You struggle with appropriate boundaries. That was round A, the anxious attachment style. I will go over different recommendations based on your attachment style after we cover the rest. Now for round B. Round B represented a secure attachment style. If you scored closer to 14 in this area, you tend to start off relationships slowly and prefer getting to know your partner over time. Loving, committed relationships are comfortable for you. You enjoy intimacy and connection, but you don't spend your time worrying about your relationships. You go with the flow and aren't often triggered over relationship issues. You are a good communicator and able to easily share your needs and feelings with your partner. You're also able to understand your partner's emotional cues, respond to them appropriately, and be there for them if they need you. You feel you can share your successes, worries, and concerns with your partner. You're able to set appropriate boundaries and find the level of give and take in your relationships to be fairly even. That was round B, the secure attachment style. Now for round C. Round C represented an avoidant attachment style. If you scored closer to 14 in this area, you tend to be very rigid and feel a bit offended if people try to get too close to you. Your independence is extremely important. You want to feel connected, but intimate relationships bring with them a sense of claustrophobia. You prefer casual relationships where your partner is at a comfortable emotional distance. You don't spend much of your time worrying about romantic relationships or being rejected. You prefer not to share too much about yourself with your partner, and as a result, they may tell you that they feel unimportant or that you're being emotionally distant. When you do enter a committed relationship, you're on the lookout for any sign that your partner is trying to control you or take away your personal freedom. You may withdraw for periods of time after intimate experiences. You might also speak openly to your current partners about past relationships, causing them to feel uncomfortable and worried over how secure the relationship is. That was round C, the avoidant attachment style. If you scored closer to 14 in rounds A and C, there is a fourth attachment style known as a disorganized attachment style. This is a mix of anxious and avoidant. With a disorganized attachment style, you find relationships confusing and unsettling. You have an extreme desire to be in an intimate relationship, but you're also afraid of being in one. You often feel unworthy or unlovable and find it painfully difficult to be vulnerable with another person. You might struggle to believe your partner when they say they love you or support you. You might also distrust your partner's supportive actions or attempts to connect with you, and constantly search for signs of rejection or betrayal. That is the disorganized attachment style. You can still achieve healthy relationships with any of these attachment styles, and attachment styles are known to change over time through life's experiences. So, let's go over a few ways you can grow with your attachment style. Please keep in mind, this is not an exhaustive list of everything you can do. Your attachment style is believed to have stemmed from childhood interactions with primary caregivers. An anxious attachment style typically stems from a childhood where one or both parents were present and then suddenly absent. This can be an emotional or a physical absence. As you get older, this experience causes you to question the dependability of others. And if that wasn't part of your childhood experience, it is worth noting that an anxious attachment can develop from early dating experiences as well. If someone cheated on you or you were rejected multiple times, that can also form an anxious attachment style. This results in jealousy, possessiveness, and a constant need for validation and reassurance from your partner. It's like you're unable to shake suspicions and unconsciously anticipate abandonment. The first major recommendation to achieving healthy relationships is by going to therapy. Therapy will allow you to unpack your childhood and heal your past in a safe, supportive space. Next is to identify someone who has a secure attachment style and learn from them, while simultaneously taking steps to build up your self-esteem. You can do this by prioritizing your own needs and physical health, and by becoming aware of your thoughts and beliefs and actively challenging them. You'll also find that this helps you effectively communicate your emotional needs. A secure attachment style typically stems from a childhood that was safe, secure, loving, and nurturing. You respect other people's boundaries without possessiveness, clinginess, or overprotectiveness. You tend to have trusting, long-term relationships. You share your feelings with others, have high self-esteem, and enjoy intimate relationships. Your keys to healthier relationships are by being emotionally available, spending quality time with your partner, avoiding judgment, and working on solutions together. You often act as a teacher to other attachment styles. An avoidant attachment style typically stems from a childhood where a main caregiver didn't provide emotional comfort, just physical needs like food and shelter. Your main caregiver might have been strict and reserved and expected you to be independent. Because you couldn't count on your emotional needs being met, you started to see social bonds as unstable, making it hard to trust people. As an adult, you can appear confident, social, and easygoing, but close yourself off when relationships get serious. To achieve healthier relationships, the key is to observe your behavioral patterns for at least 6 weeks and start to intentionally change them. You can do this by deliberately paying attention to how you feel when experiencing emotional intimacy. Explore each feeling that arises and try to understand where it comes from. Then, work on expressing your needs to your partner as well as responding to theirs. Through repeated positive interactions, you will begin to trust that your needs will be met. A disorganized attachment style is believed to be the result of extreme childhood trauma, one where the main caregiver abused you or someone else in front of you. Despite the fear this instilled, you were still dependent on the caregiver and trapped in that environment. So, despite craving intimacy, you became used to feeling unsafe and unstable. As an adult, this results in overwhelming emotional conflict. You might choose controlling or abusive partners, sabotage relationships, or send mixed signals. The key to a secure and healthy relationship is by finding the right therapist for you, someone who can really help you heal and work through past trauma. You can also start keeping a journal where you reflect on your past in extreme detail. A disorganized attachment style is known for negative self-talk or an extreme inner critic, and a great way to reprogram this is by practicing self-compassion. Don't dismiss your feelings. Start speaking kindly to yourself. If you haven't already, try and use affirmations. And carve out consistent space to do nice things for yourself, because you deserve kindness, and you can learn that by showing up for yourself and showing to yourself that you do. Let's take a few slow, deep breaths together now. We'll do 4 counts, so we will breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and breathe out for 4. Are you ready? Okay. Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 1, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. One last time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good, very good, very good. Intentionally shedding any tension you might feel. Allowing yourself to feel a flicker of excitement starting to sprout, and allowing that flicker to grow and bloom. Bloom with excitement for all the ways your life continually improves. Feeling gratitude for yourself, for your journey, for your own self-awareness, and knowing that you are not alone. You are never alone. We are all walking each other home. All my love to you, and thank you for growing with me. Have you ever blurted out something or reacted a little too strongly and thought, whoa, where did that come from? Welcome to the shadow zone. In Jungian psychology, the shadow is the unconscious side of your personality. All the parts of yourself that you reject or hide, often because you think they're bad or unacceptable. It's basically everything that you've stuffed into the emotional closet. Fears, impulses, insecurities, even hidden talents. But the twist, that closet doesn't stay shut forever. No sir, no way. But hey, this isn't some dark, dramatic doom spiral. We're here to turn on the flashlight and explore the shadow together. Think of this as an inner excavation without the emotional hangover. Self-discovery served in bites. This video is your guide to meeting your shadow self through a series of interactive questions, examples, and aha moments. We will explore what's lurking just beneath your carefully curated surface and what it might be trying to teach you. This is basically you getting to know you better. Picture your mind as an iceberg. What people see, your opinions, your outfits, your killer playlist, that's just the tip. But beneath the surface, that is the unconscious. Raw, unfiltered, and often unexplored. That is where the shadow lives. So, if you are ready to meet the part of yourself that throws emotional tantrums when no one's watching, or quietly craves attention but pretends it doesn't, I suggest you grab a notebook and get comfy and ready to dig in. Let's get started by turning inward. Flashlight in hand, detective hat on. These first questions are designed to help you spot the parts of yourself you might be tucking away in the back of the mental closet. The feelings you shove down, the traits you pretend you don't have, the weird little gremlins you hope no one else notices. Yep, those. Think of this part as pulling back the mask you wear for the world and getting curious, getting really curious about what's underneath. There's no rush here. You can pause the video, write freely, and please, 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 pretty please resist the urge to edit yourself. No one is grading this. And also, if you just want to follow along and answer mentally, that works too. But the first question I would like to ask you is, what is something you've been avoiding We all have something, right? It's very good that you could identify it. And what emotions do you avoid like the plague? Anger, sadness, feeling needy, vulnerability. Which emotions are you just avoiding like the plague? Okay, and what is one thing about you that you really don't want people to know? Could be a secret habit, a regret, a part of your personality you hope just flies under the radar. One thing, just one that you really hope people don't know. You really don't want them to know. Growing up, what traits did you learn were bad or too much? Crying too easily, speaking up, wanting attention. When you were growing up, the traits that you learned were bad, too much. We're getting somewhere. When do you notice yourself pretending or people pleasing instead of being real? Work meetings, dating apps, family dinners. When are you a people pleaser? This is good work. So let's break it down now, shall we? Those questions were designed to shine a light on your feelings and aspects that you have pushed so hard, crammed down into your psychological basement. The ones that you have labeled with a big Sharpie. Not allowed. Do not open. Never open. In Jungian terms, that collection of repressed bits. That's your shadow. Over time, most of us create a very polished version of ourselves, a persona that wins approval. But what happens to all the parts that don't make the cut? Where do those go? What do those be? Contrary to popular belief, they don't disappear. They simmer. They plot. They sometimes show up uninvited at the worst possible moments. For example, let's say you avoid conflict like it's a cursed to-do list. You may have learned early on that anger equals bad, so you quietly buried it. Except anyone with repressed anger knows it doesn't politely stay buried. It finds sneaky exits, passive aggression, road rage, a full-on temper tantrum when you can't find your phone. Does this sound familiar? Or maybe you wrote, "I hate feeling needy," and then you realize you never ask for help. That could point to the shadow belief that if you need support, you're weak. And if that belief's been running the show from the shadows, it's probably exhausting you. But there is good news. The The moment you spot it, you take away some of its power. Take it back. Take that power back. Okay, so now that you're aware of this side of you, what do you do with it? First, give that hidden part of yourself a little compassion. You learn to tuck it away for a reason. It feels like it's protecting you. And second, ask yourself where that belief came from, and if it's actually still serving you. Do you know where that belief came from? Is it actually still serving you? Third, try something tiny and brave. Let someone know you're overwhelmed. Set one boundary. Just one, try for two. Cry in the shower, and don't apologize for it. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps eventually lead to a big integration. And I also have a side mission for you, should you choose to accept it. Take a breath and read what you wrote, or reflect on what just came up for you right now. Was there anything that surprised you? Did you spot a part of yourself that you usually ignore or judge? If you feel safe to share, please drop a little insight in the comments. Something like, I just realized I pretend to be fine way too often. It might sound small, but it's massive. And odds are someone else is going to see it and say, hey, me too. And also, congratulations. Seriously, nice work. You've taken a giant step by being willing to look at yourself on a deeper level. That's the hardest part. Seriously, gold star. Are you ready to keep going? I love to hear it. Let's see what your shadow thinks about everyone else. Because we've looked inward. And now it's time to look outward. Here's a fun twist. Sometimes the things and people that trigger us aren't random. They're mirrors. In Jung speak, it's called projection. When we see in others what we have unconsciously disowned in ourselves. Think of it like your shadow going, hey, I know that trait. I'm just not allowed to have it, so let's yell at someone who does. See it all the time, right? Are you ready to test your inner mirror? Grab your notebook again, and let's try these next questions. Ready? Who is someone you cannot stand, and why? Could be a celebrity, a boss, an old friend, someone who chews too loud. Write it down or think it. Someone you just can't stand. Yeah. Yikes. Alright, next question. What traits in others make you instantly judge or roll your eyes? Think laziness, arrogance, neediness, being too loud, too quiet. Do something. Write it down or think it. I got it. Alright. And who do you envy? Even a little. Who are you envious of? It's okay, the list can be long, but let's just start with one person. Envious. Very good. What exactly do they have or do that stirs that feeling up in you? And who do you secretly admire or put on a pedestal? There's gotta be someone. Admit it. This is you with yourself right now, so it's totally okay to be vulnerable. Alright? Who do you put on a pedestal? Good. What qualities do they have that make you think, oh, I wish I was like that? Which qualities? Brilliant. We got somewhere again. We're cruising. We are finding our shadow. Yeah. Are you ready for the truth juice? Projection isn't just about negativity. It's about recognizing parts of yourself you've lost touch with. Let's say arrogant people make your blood boil. It's possible, just possible, that deep down you've been taught to always stay humble, never shine too bright, or never ask for attention. Your shadow might still crave a little spotlight, but since you've exiled that desire, it comes out as judgment when someone else takes up space. And boom, instant irritation. Or maybe you envy people who seem effortlessly confident or creative. That could be your golden shadow speaking. The bright parts of yourself that got tucked away because they felt too bold, too weird, or too risky to show. But you still recognize them. That's why they spark envy, or admiration, or a low-key identity crisis. As Young would put it, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Translation: your haters are low-key guiding you back to your unclaimed self. Alright, cool. So, what the fuck do you do with all of this anyway? Next time you're triggered by someone's vibe, hit pause. Ask, could this trait live in me somewhere? Is it something I've rejected, buried, or secretly wish I could express? This doesn't mean that you are that person, only that they're tapping on a nerve. And those nerves, always worth exploring. On the flip side, if you admire someone deeply, ask yourself, how can I embody more of that? If you love how bold or expressive someone is, maybe it's time to test drive that energy. Take a baby step. Post something honest. Wear the thing. Say the thought. Let the golden shadow peek out. And then take this mini mission, Cosmic Sleeper Agent. Pick one person, just one, who triggers you or inspires you, and reflect on what they might be reflecting back to you. Then if you're feeling brave, drop it in the comments. I always get annoyed by confident people. Maybe I'm scared of being seen. That is shadow work in action. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's wild how quickly things start clicking when you get curious instead of reactive, isn't it? And the good news is, we ain't stopping. We are going to keep going because we've got more layers to peel back, peel back, peel back. And next up is emotional overreactions, weird patterns, and the moments your shadow grabs the wheel without asking. So buckle up and hold on to your hats because here we go. Have you ever had a reaction that felt way too big for the situation? Like someone made a tiny comment and suddenly you found yourself spiraling into a full-blown meltdown, silent treatment, or inner monologue worthy of an Oscar. Congratulations. That was likely your shadow taking the wheel. on emotional triggers and recurring patterns, the places where your shadow doesn't whisper, it yells. These questions will help you track where your unconscious might be running the show. Are you ready? When is the last time you totally overreacted to something small? Tell me, what happened? And what did it really stir up? Overreacted. Something really small. Which emotional triggers hit you like a truck? Criticism, rejection, being ignored, feeling left out. I want you to get really specific. So which emotional triggers just send you out? Very good. Which life pattern keeps looping, 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 like a bad sequel? Toxic friendships, quitting right before success, always being the fixer. There tends to be those patterns that repeat again and again and again and again and again. So let's shine the light on those two. What pattern keeps repeating for you? What kind of feedback makes you instantly defensive? If someone gives you advice, let's say, what makes you puff up your fur and fluff your tail out like that classic cartoon cat pose? And what are you afraid they're actually seeing in you? What are you afraid they're actually seeing in you? What do you sabotage and why? Think procrastination, ghosting, overthinking, picking fights you didn't need to start. What do you sabotage and why? Do you sabotage? Have you noticed yourself sabotaging anything more specific? Wow, thank you for going there. And thank you so much for continuing to reflect and share. Here's the deal. Our triggers are like breadcrumbs that lead straight to the shadow. When your emotional response doesn't match the moment, chances are you're not just reacting to now, you're reacting to then. Old pain, old programming, old beliefs. Say someone gives you gentle feedback, and suddenly you feel attacked, unworthy, and 1 inch tall. That could trace back to a childhood moment where being wrong meant being punished or unloved. So now, even when the older version of you hears, "You could improve this," it feels like you're not enough. Cue the shutdown, right? Or maybe you keep getting close, so close to something good, a relationship, a career move, and then boom, you self-destruct. Pro tip, that's not laziness, that's fear in disguise. You your shadow might hold a belief like, I don't deserve this, or if I try, I might fail. So it hits the brakes before you even get out of the driveway. Defensiveness, sabotage, overreactions, they're not character flaws, they're messages. Your shadow isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you. It just memorized some outdated tactics along the way. So the next time a trigger hits, don't judge it. Track it. Ask yourself, what is the real emotion underneath this reaction? Where did I learn to fear this feeling? Is this story still true or just familiar? Then try to do something differently. If you want to disappear after criticism, try staying. If your instinct is to people please, try telling the truth kindly. Every time you respond with awareness, you invite the shadow into the light. Now, I want you to look back at a moment where you overreacted. Do you know the deeper story your shadow is trying to tell you? If you feel called to, share your reflection in the comments. Something like, I realized I panic when people pull away because it reminds me of how I felt as a kid. That kind of honesty cracks things, cracks it wide open for you and for anyone else reading them. You're doing big work here. Seriously. This is the part where most people tap out, and you're leaning in. So let's keep going. Yeah? What do you do with all of this insight? And how do you turn your shadow from a saboteur into a secret ally? Because you've done the hardest part. You looked at what you hide, what you project, and where you spiral. Shadow work isn't about fixing yourself. It's about recognizing the parts you've exiled and inviting them back to the table. Even the loud ones, and especially the messy ones. Because guess what? The shadow isn't just a dumping ground for shame and insecurity. It's also where your power, creativity, and authenticity have been hiding, waiting for permission. I have some integration questions for you. The kind that will gently move you from insight to action. So, feel free to answer them in a journal or in your mind. Ready? What strengths or gifts have you buried because you were told they were too much, not practical, or weird? Okay. What compliments do you constantly reject or downplay? Hint, they might actually be true. But which ones? Okay. What negative trait are you ashamed of that might also be a hidden superpower? For example, stubbornness is resilience, sensitivity, empathy, jealousy is unspoken desire. So what might actually be your hidden superpower? Mm-hmm. All right. What's one thing you could do this week to express a part of yourself that you usually hide? For example, saying what you think, asking for help, wearing that outfit, saying no. Expressing a part of yourself you usually hide. Beautiful. Yes, I hope you do it. Excellent work. We are really getting somewhere. Do you smell that? It smells like progress. So, what does integration actually look like? It's not a dramatic breakthrough or a glowing halo over your head. It's much more subtle than that. Integration looks like speaking up when you used to stay silent, letting yourself cry without apologizing, owning your ambition, your creativity, your weird sense of humor without shrinking, asking for what you need and not immediately feeling guilty about it. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming someone more whole. Because here's the wild thing. The traits that you've rejected the hardest might be exactly what you need to live more fully. When you stop wasting energy hiding them, you gain access to everything they were blocking. Confidence, clarity, connection. Not so bad, right? But just so you know, shadow work, it never ends. You're going to keep discovering new layers. You will continue to face parts of yourself most people spend their whole life avoiding. But now you've got tools. When a trigger shows up, you'll pause instead of panic. When envy flares, you'll dig into what it's pointing to. When you catch yourself shrinking, you'll remember that part of you has a place. Whether you've uncovered buried feelings, spotted a few spicy projections, or finally made peace with your inner chaos gremlins, you've taken real steps towards self-awareness and integration. That is the work. It's not fixing, it's not performing, it's just honestly meeting yourself. So, keep journaling, keep observing, and when in doubt, come back to this question. What part of me is trying to be seen right now? And what is one insight from this whole process that hit home the hardest? What's one action you're willing to take this week to honor it? Drop it in the comments. Whatever it is, you're not just saying it. By sharing it, you are practicing integration in real time. And hey, if this video helped you feel more human, more seen, or just a little less alone in your inner chaos, please share it with someone who's ready to go deep. And let me know if there's anything that you're interested in exploring next. Shadow work is not about perfection. It's about wholeness. And you are already on your way. Hello there. Just checking in. It's 3 hours later and you've now been roasted by science and psychology. You've met your shadow, your clingy side, your petty revenge core, and while you may not be better, you are officially self-aware. And now you can psychoanalyze all your friends with receipts. Thank you so much for being alive. Remember, we are all in this together, and you are doing